Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. I've never actually asked you this exact question. I always wanted to in the past. When I was 22, I met someone from a shamanic faith. Shamanic is South America.
Okay.
Like one of the Amazonian.
Yes.
He was someone who studied the shamanic faith. And he told me something very interesting. He said that in their faith, the way they look at God is what he described. And then as I podcasted with people in Sanatan Dharma, in Sikhi, I figured that it's the exact same explanation. I had a Buddhist monk as well. These are at least the limited number of religions I've covered on the show. And I intend on covering more religions.
Right.
But I've seen that it all boils down to the same visualization that shamanic researcher gave me. He said that imagine that God is a human being sitting somewhere, and that same human being is built up out of cells in the way our body is built up out of cells. Now imagine he takes his most active cell, which is his brain cell. He takes one brain cell out. And the brain has billions and billions of cells. But he takes one brain cell out and says that I'm going to take it from the brain and I'm going to place it on my palm. Now the mission for that brain cell is to find its way back to the original point, which is the brain.
Right.
So he said that human being that we're talking about is God. And each of those brain cells are the different souls that we meet, the different human souls. And that process of crawling from the palm, which could be earth in our case,
Right.
back to the brain is the process of all religions. That's
Right.
what every single school of spirituality is pointing you back towards. That go back to your source. You are just a temporary visitor
Right.
here. Reality begins after death. All these things. And the upward karmic climb, like as you clean up your karmas, as you do good karmas, makes you move along that path faster from the palm till the brain. Would you like to add anything, or would you like to give us the Bhagavad Gita perspective on this?
Yes.
And do you disagree with anything like in this visualization?
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Prakrite guna sammudhaha sajjante guna karmasu tan akritsna vidomandan krishnavin na vichalet. So he says, Krishnavin means one who may be practicing his faith based on Vedic Sanatan Dharma, already convinced about this path and everything. Na vichalayet. He says, don't debate and don't discount and don't criticize. Who? Prakrite guna sammudha, under the influence of modes of nature, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun. Sajjante, one becomes attached, guna karmasu, to a certain conception of guna and karma. And when you say guna karma, basically means those modes affect one's thinking, one's feeling, one's willing, one's actions. Everything is influenced by the modes. So therefore, even within the Puranas, there are 18 Puranas. 6 are in mode of goodness. 6 are in mode of passion. 6 are for those in mode of ignorance. Like a medical doctor. A doctor has a whole repertoire of medical equipments and medicines. The goal of the doctor is to heal the pain, to relieve the pain. Like that, the various conceptions about spirituality, God, faith, is all centered around how a patient in a particular place will be inspired to take some medicine. Right. So something may be here, but if the person is not willing to come, at least they begin here. Like that, varieties exist in spiritual understanding and faiths because of millions of categories of faith or shraddha within our heart and mind, which is a mixture of unlimited permutations of combinations of sattvagun, rajogun and tamogun. If you take all of this and you mix, you get unlimited combinations. Just like in a lighter mood, in Punjabi cuisine in restaurants, there are only 5 things in one sense, like Indian. Aloo, potato, cauliflower, cabbage, capsicum, tomato. You mix this, and then but you go and see in the restaurant menu list, you will see a whole range of items. But those who are experienced in the restaurant, they know they make a certain gravy and they keep mixing this, that, everything. So therefore, in all these traditions also, whether any corner of the world you go, it is the kind of faith people have in expressing the relationship with Ishwar. So therefore, Geeta crystallizes all this into 5 elements. Jeev, the soul, praying to Ishwar. And Ishwar is controlling 3 things. Prakriti, nature. Kala, time. Karma, action. So therefore, atheist or materialist means he discounts Ishwar and says, I am controlling nature, Prakriti. Whatever I work, I get the result. Time is on my control. I can decide when I will do what and when I will get success, when I will get failure. Timing is in my control. Then karma. Yes, I can do what I plan to do. I can generate the resources I want to do my action. So I have full control over my action, my timing, and all the resources required to make that action successful. Such a person is called materialist, or in Sanskrit, bhogi. Then when the result of this bhoga is chinta, anxiety, right? So in the 16th chapter Gita, Krishna says that idam adyamaya labdham imam prapsya manoratham idam astidam itame bhavishyati punarjanam. Adyo bhajanmanasmi konyosti sadrishamya ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balwan sukhi. He says, so far I had this, now I have this. I am Ishwar, I am bhogi, I am perfect, I don't need anybody. But when anxiety catches up, things don't go as per plan, then person starts thinking, is there somebody who's superior? And when they look up, they see Ishwar. That is called yoga. So therefore, yoga technically means connecting of the soul with the super soul, with Ishwar. When the Jeev connects with Ishwar, it is called yoga. Now, the manifestations of this yoga across the world, across traditions, across countries, is millions and millions of varieties. So the way the Supreme Ishwar has created this world, as you rightly said, he has kept the most fundamental asset and property of the soul untouched. And what is that most fundamental asset and property of the soul? Free will and choice. He does not impose. So therefore, some jiva wants to express their relationship with Ishwar in one way, another jiva expresses in another way. All are beautiful expressions and all have their nuances and their plus and minuses and their flavors. So therefore, in a family, different children, but the different children are relating with the father and mother in different flavors. So that's the idea.
Are all of us Ishwar from different timelines?
Now, all of us are jiva. We are serving the Ishwar. Ishwar is the supreme. So, well, within the Vedic tradition and within other traditions, the relationship of the Ishwar Jiva is defined in different ways. In the impersonalist tradition, Advaita tradition, so the Jiva is covered over by Maya, and when the Maya removed, they realize I am Ishwar. Like that. So that's how they consider Prakriti. Whereas in the Vaishnava tradition, they consider the Jiva to be eternally part and parcel and eternally servant of the Ishwara in eternity. Even in Baddhavastha, even in Muktavastha. So these are the different schools of thought within the philosophy. And all these debates are very interesting. When people say, why there should be so many debates and so many conflicts? That is the whole idea of variety. Variety adds the flavor. And all these different perspectives are very important because at least a person is removing his, obsession with the senses and focusing on the debate. So better to have conflicts in philosophy than have conflicts trying to hurt each other or have conflicts of the senses with the sense objects and becoming morose and depressed. So therefore, any differences of opinion in philosophy in the Vedic tradition was always encouraged. And therefore, even the kings would regularly hold debates where openly people could come and express different points of view, express, defend, understand, because dialogue is the process of evolution. So discipline is the fusion of intention with action. And the whole idea of philosophical dialogue is to enable that discipline more and more.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic as long as you're willing to search for it.